Excellency, Mr. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Your Excellencies, secretaries from the Republic of the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And allow me, on behalf of His Majesty, Custodian of Two Holy Mosques, King Salman, and His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the rest of the Saudi government, to extend our very warm welcome to His Excellency the President of the Philippines, and specifically to welcome the entire Filipino delegation, as well as my colleagues from Saudi Arabia, to this roundtable discussion, which I am sure is going to be quite fruitful and impactful on the relationship between our two friendly nations. Mr. President, I'm sure you will know that diplomatic relations between our nations were established over half a century ago, 1969 to be exact, under the leadership of another remarkable Ferdinand Marcos, your late father. And of course, I am from an age bracket that remembers the era of Ferdinand Marcos Sr., who brought so much to the Philippines and who became an icon on the world stage. In September last year, Mr. President, you received our Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, and he reported very, very highly of the meeting and your warm welcome and your outlook on improving the relationship, which is already very good, by the way, between our two countries. And it's an honor to see you here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on your first visit as President of the Philippines, primarily to attend the summit of ASEAN GCC tomorrow, but also to hold talks with His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and today to reach out to our business community and cement the strong economic ties, people-to-people ties that already exist between our two nations. The Philippines, for those of you who don't know, is the world's 40th largest economy. Not a small economy by any means. However, its potential is much higher. It is today, under your leadership, one of the fastest growing markets, with expectation to double its GDP from 2022 to 2030. Key to your success has been the unique strength and competitive advantage of Filipino talent, renowned around the world for their work ethic. They're English-speaking, well-skilled, tech-savvy, and service-oriented. And Filipinos have made their mark across the globe, and I see them in very high-tech as well as leadership positions when I travel around the world. This is true also here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, proud to be home to the largest Filipino population in the Middle East. We're pleased at the success we have seen so far, and given the extensive reforms being driven under your Philippine Development Plan, we're very excited about the future of partnership between our two nations. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we too in Saudi Arabia have an ambitious vision for economic development, driven by widespread reforms and investment. Through Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia has embarked on an ambitious economic growth and diversification journey that can bring benefits and opportunities to partners across the world. For as much as the Kingdom attracts FDI, we also wish to grow the footprint of our own outbound investment in friendly investment-friendly nations like the Philippines. Since we launched Vision 2030 7 years ago, our GDP has risen 66%. Our FDI has more than quadrupled. And last year, we became the fastest growing economy in the G20. We forecast that by the end of this decade, our investment opportunities will exceed $3.3 trillion US dollars, translating into tremendous opportunities for companies and investors across all sectors from around the world, and we trust some of them will be from the Philippines just as much as we are confident that more Saudi investors will be investing in the Philippines. Mr. President, today we want to connect you to key Saudi investors with impressive success stories to share and with a desire to continue building their international presence by investing with partners across the globe, the Philippines being a key one. To begin, we want to discuss today finance. We know that the Philippines is looking not only to drive innovations, for example, by moving to a cashless society by 2030, but also to mobile finance. Saudi Arabia, in our own right, has a highly successful banking sector, and several funds are looking to expand their investment here and internationally. And I'm very pleased that we are joined today by leaders in this sector from Saudi Arabia who are eager to hear more about the investment opportunities in one of ASEAN's most exciting markets and learn more about the newly launched Maharalika Investment Fund that you have launched under your administration. Next, we would like to touch on energy and chemicals, as the Philippines is working towards energy self-sufficiency by the end of the decade. Renewable energy will play an important role in the mix. And while Saudi Arabia is known as a leading oil producer, and we have been your leading supplier of petroleum, our energy future also encompasses major investments in renewable projects. One of them, that is today the global leader, is NEOM's green hydrogen, as well as the world's largest blue hydrogen system to be built by Saudi Aramco. Our efforts in the energy sector also has positioned us to become a leader in petrochemicals. And I'm very pleased that we have several national champions, and indeed the global champions in these three areas: oil and gas, green and blue hydrogen, renewable production from solar, wind, desalination, and of course SABIC and petrochemicals. Another key sector where we could discuss areas for collaboration is industry and logistics. We know how vital this sector will be to the Philippines' growth as a regional manufacturing hub, and that there are opportunities to deepen this partnership. In Saudi Arabia, we're planning to invest more than $133 billion US dollars by the end of this decade across aviation, railways, ports, maritime services, and logistic hubs, underpinned by our national transport and logistics strategy. With us to discuss the opportunities in this sector, we see a number of key private sector actors represented, and they will be speaking with you, Mr. President. Tourism is another key sector for us, where we have a goal of reaching over 100 million visits annually and increasing tourism share of GDP from less than 3% before Vision 2030 to 10% by 2030. The Philippines is known for the richness of its culture and the beauty of its landscape, has long drawn tourists from all over the world, including more than